Well, now we come to a section which I'm sure is of interest to many chess players. How should you play against stronger or much stronger opponents than yourself? I mean, we always have to confront this, whatever our class, and it's useful to know what to do. Well, firstly, you have to have the presence of mind to be humble and recognise that the opponent is stronger than you are. If you're stubborn, or if you just can't believe in rating figures, then, you're going to play in your own style, and you're going to find out why the guy is stronger than you. He's stronger, generally, because he's got better technique than you. That's what it boils down to. A stronger opponent is usually stronger, A, because they've got more naked talent, B, because they've studied chess more than you have, and C, because of these two factors, they've got excellent technique. And if they're following my advice mentioned earlier, they're going to see you as the weaker player, and they're going to be playing in a rock-solid style, using their technique to grind you into the dirt. So this is what you absolutely don't want to happen. Somehow, and this is the formula against strong players, you have to create complications. You have to create a difficult position where anybody can go wrong. You have to create a tactical situation on the board. You have to attack. That is it in a nutshell. When you play stronger opponents, you have to attack somehow. To illustrate this principle, let's take a look at a game from the European Championship, which was played in Rijeka in March 2010, between Zdravko Krisivic and Fabian Platzgummer. These names might not mean much to you, but the black player is 180 ELO points higher rated, which is a pretty substantial margin. So what does white do in this game? He starts off in attacking mode, and he continues in the same vein all the way through the game. He gets into a dubious position, but he so confuses Platzgummer with his attacking strategy that eventually black blunders and loses the game. Well, here we have a very solid opening from black's perspective. Black is hoping to grind out the point. White plays the Evans Gambit. Now, most strong black players are reasonably happy to see the Evans Gambit. The jury's still out as to whether this is full value for the pawn from white's perspective. But white certainly get the initiative in this opening. This is a romantic opening. It's been around since the 19th century. Many strong grandmasters have played the Evans Gambit, testing their attacking skills against black's position. White's compensation for the pawn is obvious. He gets the attack, the initiative, and the centre, although he might have to give up a couple or even 3 pawns in order to do this. Nigel Short, the English grandmaster, is a particular aficionado of the Evans Gambit, and he's won many fine games with it, although he's lost many fine games as well. The Evans gives royal entertainment in chess, and for that reason deserves to exist alone. Chivrich in this position gets into a very dodgy situation. Platzgummer starts well. He plays one of the more reliable lines, knight ge7, and now white hits out with a move that I can't really think is much good. He plays e5. The normal recipe here is to play knight g5. However caveman-like that looks, the threat to f7 cannot be ignored, and white's introducing ideas such as queen h5 into the position. If black goes knight e5, then white has an interesting move here. Knight takes f7, bishop takes f7 check, queen h5 check, and the queen is forking the king and the bishop. I'm not saying this is good for white, but it certainly gives him some chances. e5 as played in the game, well, it kind of encourages black to play the freeing move d5. d5 is the move you want to get in as black in open games if you can, because it frees up your pieces. So for the time being, everything looks fine for black. Black allows white to get one of the pawns back on d4. He plays d5 himself, and now after castles, knight a3, bishop g4, it's already looking bad for our hero Chivrich. He's the worst player. He's 180 points lower rated, and he's got himself into a mess in the opening. A pawn down with seemingly no compensation. He's already sent the knight to the edge of the board on a3. What the heck is that knight doing there? Well, from now on, white really pick up the game, but he starts to play extremely well in a difficult position, because he's not afraid. He's got nothing to lose anymore. He never had anything to lose. I mean, nobody would have flashed an eyelid if white had lost this game, just because they look at ratings and they think, oh, this guy's 170 points ELO rated higher, he must be a much better player, therefore it's no surprise he won. Well, you can change that, and you can change it by creating a really difficult situation on the board. which is exactly what Civric does. He flings his kingside pawns forward. After all, you have to, understand he's got nothing to lose. Then he starts to redistribute his knight from the edge of the board into the centre. Very good play. And I'm not sure about Black's last moves, A6 and B5. What have they done? I mean, they seem to have just weakened his position on the C-file, which White starts to take advantage of now. And in fact, the C-file is the source of Black's downfall in this game, with Rook C1. Yes, I know Black can play F6 in this position, but I think Platzgummer was becoming very nervous now. And certainly after Bishop takes D5 check, it's pretty clear that White is getting right back into the game. Black certainly overlooked this cute intermediate move. It's check, and when Black takes, White's going Rook takes C6. No expense is spared to avoid the spectre of moving this knight and letting the Black Queen into the game. Black took on E3, White recaptured. Black goes Queen E7. Now comes another cute tactical idea. Queen B3 check, Bishop F7. Black is thinking to himself, right, I'm out of the woods. And now Bishop A3. Well, this tactical exchange has obviously shaken Gummer up, because the standard of his play goes downhill now for the rest of this game. Bishop takes B3, Bishop takes E7, leaves a lot of pieces on pre. Unfortunately for Black, 3 of them are his, and White's only got 1 piece on pre. So Black is now losing material. Rook FC8, A takes B3, F takes E5, and there we are. Rook FC1, very nice, pinning the bishop and winning that piece on C7. And nothing Black can do now is going to shake off White's grip on the game. The problem for Black precisely is that not only White coming to round up his pawns, White's also got ideas of Bishop D4 here, which focuses attention very much on the Black king. So White's got 2 strings to his bow here, whereas Black is just defending. Rook E7. Civric switches gears. When winning, play simply. Civric is confident now. He figures he can win this position, without too many tears. B4, Rook C4, Bishop D2, Rook C2, Bishop E1. White is electing to play this in rock-solid fashion. He now comes after the pawn on A6. Black has to go back. H5, King G2. Black is even able to exchange a pair of pawns. Rook takes G4 check, King F3, Rook C4. Rook takes A6, King F7, Rook B6. Another one bites the dust, and when that is lost, Black is simply a piece down for nothing. So once the technical phase came about, Civric actually played very well. He didn't play particularly well in the opening, but he revived himself in that game through tactical ingenuity. So really it's not that difficult. When you're playing somebody stronger than you, you have to create a complicated position on the board. You have to create a situation where the opponent can go wrong. That gives you the maximum chance of getting a result out of the game. It's well known, you often see timid players playing some really boring opening like the college system or something like anything like that, playing 10 weedy moves and then offering a draw in a position where nothing's been exchanged, the most dreadfully boring position on the board. Well, that's exactly what a strong player wants. He's going to think to himself, right, I've equalised easily with Black. I'm going to outplay this guy. You definitely don't want to play like that. If you want to draw against a much stronger opponent, again, you've got to create complications. You've got to create a situation which induces doubt in his mind. When he looks at the position after your draw off and he thinks, oh yeah, I might just lose this, that's the situation where he's going to agree to a draw and no other. So for the final time, attack against stronger players. It's the only way.